Hello, everyone, and welcome to Climate Squares. My name is Mike Matthew, and I'll be your host tonight. Like all good broadcasters in the quarantine era, I'm wearing shorts right now. This is the finale for the All In for Climate Action Week, hosted by the City of Bellingham and made possible by many organizations who have helped produce inspiring and informative events over the last 7 days. Climate change is a very serious matter, as we know from all the science and stories we have shared and learned from during Climate Action Week. The city and our community believe climate action is a priority, and we're working hard to implement the measures in our climate action plan. Doing so will spur innovation, create jobs, and improve the health of people and the planet. Something else we learned this week is that we're in this together. There is strength in numbers. There is hope, change, momentum. And in the spirit of all that, tonight we are saying, as we rally together for climate action, let's rally with a smile. Without reducing the gravity of the situation, we want to use creativity and fellowship and humor and all these other wonderful things that bring us together around these issues. So that includes taking advantage of the video conference grid layout we've all gotten used to this spring and summer, which, if you haven't noticed, looks a lot like the game show Hollywood Squares. Hollywood Squares, did you watch it? I did a few times. It ran from 1966 to 2004. The game is a mix of trivia and tic-tac-toe, with one celebrity in each square of a tic-tac-toe board. Climate Squares is our version of that game. It focuses on climate-based trivia and features 9 fantastic Bellebrities, which are Bellingham celebrities, but you already knew that from all the local gossip magazines. Here's how it works. We have 2 contestants. One at a time, they will select a square containing one of our fantastic Bellebrities. I will ask the Bellebrity a climate-themed question, and they will provide an answer. The contestant then chooses either to agree with that answer if they think the Bellebrity is correct, or disagree if they think the Bellebrity is bluffing, either because they're being sneaky or because they don't actually know what they're talking about at the moment. If the contestant makes the right choice, then the contestant wins the square and gets to mark it with an X or a no. If they make the wrong choice, then their opponent gets that square. We proceed that way until one contestant gets 3 squares in a line, just like in tic-tac-toe, or gets a total of 5 squares anywhere on the board. We're going to play 3 rounds like this, and the contestant who wins the most rounds wins Climate Squares and saves the world from environmental catastrophe. Maybe not, but we will have a lot of fun learning about climate change together. Let's get started by meeting our 9 illustrious Bellebrities. From left to right in the top row, we have Imran Sheikh, Assistant Professor in Environmental Sciences at Western Washington University. Imran, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks.
Great. You're stoked to be here, right?
I'm super excited. Never been, I didn't really consider myself a Bellebrity, but I'm glad you think I am.
Hey, welcome to the club, pal. In the middle of the top row, we have Mayor of Bellingham, Seth Fleetwood. Hello, Mr. Fleetwood.
Hello, pleasure to be here.
Hello. Finishing up the top row, we have Nicole Oliver, Director of Parks and Recreation for the City of Bellingham. Hello, Nicole.
Hi there.
In the middle row, from left to right, we have Rose Lathrop, Program Director, Sustainable Connections. Pleasure to see you, Rose.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm here.
Good entrance. We have Kevin Coleman in the middle, Center Square, Community Outreach and Sponsorship Director at Veritas Media. Welcome, Kevin.
How are you?
I'm on fire. How are you?
I am better than cats. I laugh, I cry, I show every emotion.
That's why you're in the center, my friend. And then right column, Center Square, Christina Michelle, real estate agent and local activist. Good to see you, Christina.
It's good to be seen. I miss Bellingham, and I hope to see everyone soon.
Where are you?
I mean, I'm in Bellingham, but we're not allowed to be more than 6 people together, which has been a
Right.
real bummer this summer.
Yeah.
And now smoke. Hello, climate change.
Indeed. Well, this is one of the reasons we're trying to get together in a model like this. 3 more celebrities. They're in the bottom row from left to right, starting with Dean Fearing, Executive Director of Colchester Community Land Trust. Hello, Dean.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here. I don't think I was chosen as a celebrity. I'm more of a runner-up celebrity, but happy to be here nonetheless.
And next to him is Grace Wong, Professor and Department Chair in Environmental Studies at Western Washington. Good to see you, Grace.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. And we've got 2 environmental professors here, so pressure's on, my friends. And then our last but not least celebrity, Michelle Grandy, Outreach Coordinator of the local Smart Trips program. Hello, Michelle. Good to see you.
Hello. Hello, everybody. I'm so happy to be here.
Good. All right. That is 9 celebrities representing the squares of our board. Now let's meet our wonderful contestants, starting with Anna Santo, PhD student at the University of British Columbia. Hello, Anna.
Hi, everyone. Happy to be here.
Good. It's good to see you. Good luck. You are going head to head with Joshua Fleischman, a natural resource planner. Hello, Joshua.
Hello, everyone. Good to be here.
Anna, you won the Rochambeau prior to the game, so the board is yours. Choose a square, and we'll get learning.
I think I'd like to start with Kevin.
Kevin, the center square.
Ooh, hi,
As fast
Anna.
he was.
Hi, Kevin.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Way to rock that flannel, girl.
You too. Nice color.
All right.
Will
Let's
it
go.
help?
Okay.
Will the color coding help? Kevin, your question.
Yes.
How many million years ago was the last time the Earth was warmer than it is today?
Ooh. I would assume, because more oxygen being in the air, that it might have been prehistoric. So why don't we say 20 million years ago?
20 million years ago. So
Yeah.
Anna, his answer is 20 million. My question for you is, do you think the correct answer is higher than that, lower than that, or just about that number?
I think it was more recently.
And you are right. It was 3 million years ago, just about. Global temperatures in the past have exceeded the average temperature that we observe today, but you would have to go back more than 3 million years to find the most recent time that that was true. Okay, so you claim the center square. Joshua, she's on the board. It's your turn. Who would you like to go with?
I will go with Nicole Oliver.
Nicole Oliver in the top right. Nicole, are you ready?
Ready.
All right. 97% or more of actively publishing climate scientists agree that climate warming trends over the past century are extremely likely caused by what? Is it A, normal fluctuations in global temperature, B, human activities, C, increasing temperature on the sun, or D, Justin Timberlake bringing sexy back with his 2006 hit single, Sexy Back?
Oh, this is a tough one.
Yeah.
That would be B, human activity.
You're saying human activity is what more than 97% of climate scientists are saying is responsible for the climate warming we're observing. All right, she's given her answer. She's not changing. Joshua, do you agree or disagree that human activity is the extremely likely cause of all the climate warming we're observing?
I'm going to agree with Nicole.
Human activities, including but not limited to Justin Timberlake bringing sexy back, is correct. So you have claimed the upper right square with an X. We're in a dead heat. Anna, it's back to you. Where are you going to go next to try to win this board?
Ooh, how about Mayor Fleetwood?
Mayor Fleetwood, top center. This is a doozy.
Uh-oh.
Describe to me, Mayor Fleetwood, how the greenhouse effect works.
It works by gases, fossil fuels being burned, and carbon dioxide and other gases go up into the atmosphere and trap heat so that solar rays that come into the earth that would naturally reflect back out get trapped, thus securing heat and warming the planet.
Anna, was that a phony answer or was that a real answer? Do you agree with Seth's explanation for the greenhouse effect?
Well, I did think Mayor Fleetwood's description was pretty dang good, but there's a few things to add maybe, which is that you wouldn't necessarily have to burn the fossil fuels. It could be some kind of greenhouse gas that was emitted not necessarily through burning, like water vapor or other types of greenhouse gases that could be in the atmosphere. But the whole idea of the radiation getting in and then not quite being able to get out is pretty spot on.
Pretty spot on, yeah. Okay. Me and the people who wrote these questions agree with you, and so do millions of scientists in the course of history. Mayor Fleetwood, you're right. Greenhouse gases absorb the sun's energy, slowing or preventing heat from escaping into space. That's the important part, right? The gases act like a blanket, making Earth warmer than it would be otherwise. Okay, so you claim the top center square. We've got 2 O's in a row. What's your move, Joshua?
I am going to go with Professor Wong for the block.
Yes, indeed. Professor Wong in the bottom middle square. Here is your question. In the last 100 years, global average temperatures have increased by 1.4 degrees Fahrenheit. How much of an increase do scientists estimate it takes to trigger irreversible catastrophic impact? How many degrees change is the estimate for super bad news?
Super bad news would be increasing the global temperature by 1 degree Celsius. So we've already reached that tipping point.
Joshua, do you agree or disagree with 1 degree Celsius?
I would say it's more than 1.4 total.
You are correct. Right, we've increased by 1.4 degrees, and then an increase of 2 is super bad news. It would, at that point, more than 70% of Earth's coastlines will see sea level rise greater than 0.66 feet. Results in increased coastal flooding, beach erosion, salinization of water supplies, and other impacts that we don't want to see. So we just saw Joshua blocking Anna by getting the question right for Grace Wong in the bottom middle. So it's back to you, Anna. Where do you go next?
How about to Imran Sheikh?
For you, Professor. Talking about sea level again. The sea levels have risen 7 inches in the last 100 years. How many Oreos can you fit in 7 inches?
Let's see. I'm gonna guess an Oreo is about 1/4 of an inch thick.
Double stuffed or
Yeah,
thin?
see, what are you measuring this on? Is it
I
like
mean-
the regular, or is it like the golden, or the regular traditional
Chocolate
Oreo?
coated?
Where are we with this Oreo? I need more clarification. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Kevin.
You're welcome. It's my job. I'm just.
We're talking about classic, no modifiers.
I'm gonna say 20.
20 Oreos in 7 inches.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like maybe 50, I'm gonna go with 15. I'm gonna revise my answer. 15.
Oh, I stalled long enough for you to change it. Have sea levels risen the equivalent of 15 Oreos?
Wow, well, my first guess was around 20 Oreos too. So I think I'm gonna guess maybe it's just a little bit more than 15 Oreos.
You are dead right, and the answer is 19.75. He knows his Oreos very well, but then he
Nice.
good on you. That's on average. The rise we've seen in global sea levels in the last 100 years, 20 Oreos. 80 years from now, we're expected to see an increase by another 1.3 to 3 feet, which is, Imran, tell me how many Oreos that is, resulting in stronger and more frequent storm surges. 10% of the world's population lives in coastal areas that would be threatened by that. They live coastal areas that are less than 10 meters above sea level. So storm surges will be a big deal in the future. All right, she got another one. Anna's got, well, if you've been keeping track, you'll know that she's got two. She's got the upper left and the center square. Joshua, what do you think you'll do now?
There's still 4 options, but I'm probably going to go with Michelle for the block.
That's a good idea.
Yay! Yes,
Michelle,
I've got you, Josh. We're gonna get this. I don't know much about climate facts, but I'm gonna steer you in the right way. I'm ready.
Which of the following events did not happen in May of 2018? For the first time in recorded history, the daily average concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere reached more than 400 parts per million at many global observation stations. Or, for the first time in recorded history, a superhero film was nominated for the Best Picture Oscar, that film being Black Panther. Or, for the first time in recorded history, Ben Affleck revealed a massive tattoo of a phoenix on his back. Which of those did not happen in May of 2018?
And please don't ever suggest the third one to me ever again.
I mean, I know that it's true that the Batfleck has that awful tattoo on him. Whether or not it happened in May, I'm not sure.
Batfleck.
What did not happen? What did not happen? That's the question of those 3 things. What actually did not happen?
2 of those happened in May in 2018, and 1 of them did not.
One of them did not. I think that, and what was A?
It was daily average concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere reaching more than 400 parts per million for the first time.
I somehow think this is a trick question because I'm pretty sure that the Black Panther was nominated and I know about the tattoo. So I'm going to say that I don't think that A happened, that things are not that bad in May of 2018.
Okay, she's saying A, 400 parts per million did not happen. This is to you then, Joshua. Do you agree that that is true or do you disagree?
I want to disagree with that. I have not actually seen Ben Affleck's tattoo, but I want to take everyone else's word for it. That would have been my guess of the one, so I am going to disagree with Michelle.
You're going to disagree because you think that the 400 parts per million thing did happen in May 2018.
Yes.
You are wrong. Which is very confusing. You are wrong about which one didn't happen. There's a lot of negatives in here. The daily average concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere did not reach more than 400 million parts per million in May 2018. In fact, it hit that depressing milestone 5 years before that in 2013. Experts agree that 350 parts per million is the safe level of carbon dioxide. And what that means is for every million, I think, pounds of air, there are currently at least 400 pounds of carbon dioxide equals bad news. So in a roundabout way, Michelle was right that that didn't happen in May 2018. She thought it was because it didn't happen at all, but in fact, it happened before that. And Joshua, you are riding into infamy on the back of Ben Affleck's Phoenix.
I see what you did there.
Joshua, you got that incorrect, which means that I'm giving the square to Anna. I'm putting an O there, and that means, Anna, you got 3 in a row. I'm calling you the winner.
Hey, Anna.
Of Climate Squares Round 1. Okay, Anna, you won round one. 2 rounds to go. Okay, into round 2, we're going to give you the first go, Joshua. And the theme of this questions in this round are the impacts of climate change on people and the planet.
May the force be with you, Joshua.
Joshua, you've got a clean board now. No X's, no O's. Where would you like to go?
I am going to start in the lower left with Dean.
Okay, the first question is to you. As global temperatures rise, scientists predict the thawing of frozen ground in the Arctic will lead to higher levels of what? Is it A, greenhouse gases, B, Bigfoot sightings, C, forest fires, D, local food production for northern populations?
Wow. There's some things in there that I wouldn't even consider, but food production, I think, would definitely be a silver lining of the, the permafrost defrosting, and, we could till those soils, maybe create some new communities up there. So I'm going to go with forest fires.
Dean is saying that as global temperatures rise, scientists predict that the thawing of frozen ground in the Arctic will lead to more forest fires. See the connection there. The question is, Joshua, do you think that he is right, or do you think it's one of those other ones?
Can I rethink that?
Sure.
Are there forests up there?
You're sitting in front of a globe. Just take a look.
What was A?
In the Arctic, in the area of the Arctic. A was greenhouse gases. B was Bigfoot sightings.
Oh, greenhouse gases. Yeah, I'm changing it to that. I don't think there's forest up there, but I've never been up there. So I don't know.
Those beautiful Arctic forests.
Yeah.
Really?
Obviously. You haven't gotten a postcard yet?
No.
Arctic adjacent. Joshua, do you have a sense here? Do you think it's greenhouse gases or one of the others?
I do have a sense, and I want to call shenanigans because I believe Dean's answer is correct in that it will release greenhouse gases. But there is also peat in the northern tundra that is already catching on fire in Siberia. We're also getting the fires. And with the warming of the soil, I believe there will also be an increased opportunity for food production. I don't remember what B was. I'm going to agree with Dean for the question, but I call shenanigans and the number of right answers.
That's where I'm buying land.
All right, peat farmer Joshua Fleischman is right on the money. We were looking for greenhouse gases. Well done, Dean. Well done, Joshua. The frozen ground contains greenhouse gases like methane and carbon dioxide. So when the ground thaws, those gases would be released. So you've got that square, bottom left. Anna, where would you like to go?
Let's go back to Kevin Coleman, center.
Kevin in the center.
I haven't seen you for a while.
Red flag,
Kevin, this is open-ended.
Uh-oh.
Global warming can increase the frequency and severity of extreme weather events like the wildfires we are enduring right now. And what else? Name one more weather event that can be affected by global warming.
Ooh, I'm going to say erratic temperatures. Yeah, erratic temperatures and a lot more boating.
A lot more boating.
Yeah, because there's going to be a lot more water, flood rise. Get a yacht.
All right, Anna, have we distracted you adequately?
That was great.
Are you?
I'm learning new things with everybody.
Where do you stand? Do you think we stand to see erratic temperatures if climate change continues? More boating?
I'm going to have to agree with Mr. Coleman on this one, that erratic.
Yeah, I'm going to have to as well. And you get the square with an O. Well done. Well done, team. Okay, Joshua, you're in control now. Where would you like to go?
I'm going to head to the upper left to Enron.
Thank you. All right, Imran, you ready?
I'm ready.
Good. As average global temperature rises, what happens to average precipitation? Does it increase? Does it decrease? Does it stay the same? Or does it naturally steam clean your outermost layer of clothing?
Well, I'm thinking that as it gets warmer, there's more water vapor in the air, and that's going to come down. So, like, I'm going to say precipitation is going to go up.
Okay. That was a very sciencey answer. I'm convinced.
I'm a scientist.
Joshua, what do you think? Are you convinced by that rationale?
That was my thought process, so I'm going to agree.
And you are both correct. Average precipitation increases along with global temperature. It gives rise to a more active water cycle, which means faster and greater evaporation and precipitation and more extreme weather events. Here locally, the Pacific Northwest is projected to have an overall slight increase in rainfall and more extreme rain events over the coming decades. Imran Sheikh in the top left is an X now, and the board goes back to Anna.
All right, I'm feeling nervous. I'm going to go in for the block. Rose, Lathrop.
Rose, Lathrop, Sustainable Connections. Let's do it. Okay, this is straight from the fact book. According to a 2012 NAACP study, Black Americans make up what percentage of people who live within 3 miles of the most heavily polluting coal-fired power plants in the US? What percentage are made up of Black Americans? Is it 13%, 33%, or 53%?
I'm gonna go with thinking about where they're located, coal-fired power plants. Let's say the options were 13, 33, or 53.
That's right.
I'm gonna go with 53.
53. 53% of people living within 3 miles of the most heavily polluting coal-fired power plants are Black, is what Rose is saying. Anna, do you think that is true or untrue?
Well, I think I'm going to agree with Rose. That there's a really strong correlation between race and distance to heavily polluting coal-fired power plants.
That is true. That is true. Black people make up only 13.4% of the total US population, but it's true that more than half of the people that live within the range of those heavily polluting power plants, more than half of them are Black. Redlining and all the bad real estate practices contribute to racial disparities like that have very real and damaging meaning in the context of climate change. So that square goes to you. That is a successful block. Joshua, new strategy. Where are you going now?
I will be going for the block with Christina.
Oh, she put herself in a pretty advantageous position.
For an Oreo similar question, please.
This has no snacks, but I think you got this one. On average, predominantly white neighborhoods have 11 times more of what than predominantly non-white neighborhoods? Is it they have 11 times more green space? Do they have 11 times more levees? Do they have 11 times more bowling alleys? Or 11 times more designated evacuation routes for natural disasters?
I mean, I feel like A and D are running very similarly. I would throw in grocery stores, healthcare facilities, childcare facilities, just a lot of things, postal offices, a lot of things you conduct your everyday with. But I'm gonna go with A, green spaces.
For the block, Joshua, do you agree or disagree?
I agree.
And you're right. 11 times more green space. This is important. Why? Because green spaces absorb water, which helps protect communities from flooding And due to decades of redlining policies and discriminatory housing practices, neighborhoods without a lot of green space tend to be predominantly communities of color. Green spaces are also great, obviously, for civic activity and recreation, but they've got a really interesting role in protecting communities from climate events as well.
Well, and they increase your property value.
Preach.
There's another one.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. All these things, they interact. Interconnection. That was an X. That was a successful block, and now it's Anna's turn.
Let's go to Professor Wong from Western.
Professor Wong, it's an environmental question. According to the EPA, what is the most accurate predictor of a person's exposure to fine particulate matter in the air? The most accurate predictor, is it a person's economic status, their age, how many times they have seen the band Air Supply in concert, or their race?
Oh, well, you know, I'm all out of love. There's, you know, but I think the correct answer is D. It's race.
D, race, with a nice quote from Air Supply in there. This is
Well
Anna.
done.
Grace, I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy.
Right, that Grace, come on. That was like one of my first concerts when I was a kid. Yeah.
I love Air Supply.
Yeah, right? Who doesn't?
I know.
I can't imagine that stadium was full of kids. Just singing along with the.
Actually, it was the 80s.
You're every woman in the world to me.
Yeah. Well, you know, well,
you were a very
I could go on about my experiences with concerts, and there were people there.
He will.
I will. So yeah, I will. So let me ramble. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. It's a nice image. The school field trip to Air Supply. Do you agree that race is the number one predictor, or is it one of the other options?
I am going to agree and also note that I would like to hear about Kevin's concert sometime in the future.
Call me.
In lieu of that explanation, I'm just going to give you the square because you are right. Grace, you are right. Race is the number one predictor. People below the poverty line are exposed to 1.35 times more fine particulate matter than those above the poverty line. So economic status is a relevant factor, but race is a bigger factor. Black people are exposed to 1.54 times more fine particulate matter than white people. They're 3 times more likely to die due to particulate matter exposure than the overall population. Fine particulate matter is a result of air pollution, and it is linked to serious lung and heart problems like asthma, bronchitis, strokes, and heart attacks. So another dimension to the racial imbalances of society and how they are highlighted and exacerbated by climate change.
Which is why I moved up here with all of you.
Welcome, welcome. Joshua, you've got a block to make. Not to tell you how to do your job here, but.
Block it, Josh. Block it.
That is sage advice, and I think I will take it and go with Mayor Fleetwood for the block.
Mayor Fleetwood, okay. As of yesterday, over 480,000 acres have burned in Washington from wildfires. How many Bellinghams would it take to cover 480,000 acres?
Yeah, seriously, no pressure.
Right.
You know every inch of this city. Come on.
I know
Come
every.
on, Zep. You know every nook and cranny.
Does it include the UGA?
Every
Oh man, excellent question.
He's Googling the answer right now.
Yeah, see, I was thinking the same thing. I'm not doing anything down here.
He just needs one quick sidebar. Just one.
Hold on here. I'm going to go with 19.
19 Bellinghams in 480,000 acres, which have burned as of yesterday. Joshua, what do you think?
100.
I'm going to say less than 19.
Less than 19. You're going to lose that square, my friend.
Ooh.
It's more than 19. It's almost 25. It's 24 and a half Bellinghams.
Wow.
I was in the ballpark.
You were. With that, the X does not get the square. I'm giving it to the O, which is 3 in a row. Anna, you win again.
Wow, Anna. It's the flannel girl. It's the flannel. What are you doing, Josh? Come on.
I don't have a matching flannel on the panel.
Yeah.
Flannel on the panel. I see what you did there, clever fella.
We're going to give you the floor again, Joshua. You're in charge. And I'm going to make a crazy proposal that this one's worth all the marbles. Those first 2 victories mean nothing, and I'm taking them away.
High stakes.
Round 3 is worth 1,000,000 points. So where do you want to go first, Joshua?
I am going to go with Kevin.
The Paris Agreement is a landmark commitment among 189 countries, the United Nations, to combat climate change.
Oui.
Kevin, what does the United States plan to do with this agreement, according to statements by the president?
We pulled out of the climate change agreement.
I agree with Kevin. Who agrees with Rose?
You do.
Yes.
That is correct. It hasn't happened yet, but in June of 2017, President Trump announced his intention to withdraw the U.S. from the Paris Agreement. Because of the terms of the agreement, the earliest this could happen is in November of this year, shortly before the end of President Trump's 2016.
And you're
Joshua
welcome.
claimed the center square with an X. Anna, it's your turn.
Let's go to Michelle Grandy from Smart Trip.
All right, Michelle in the bottom right. This is a multiple choice question, Michelle.
Okay, I'm good at these.
During the 2015 United Nations Climate Change Conference in Paris, 20 countries committed to doubling what by the year 2020? Did they commit to doubling investments in clean energy research and development, the use of compostable straws and utensils, the number of women in charge of environmental agencies, or food security in low-income communities?
Well, I hope they committed to all of those things. I'm going to start by saying that. But what was the A or 1? What was that one? Investment in
clean energy research and development.
I'm going to say that, that's a big commitment and that's an important commitment. And as we know in Bellingham, if we decide as a community that we don't want bags or straws, we can do that on our own. We don't need 20 countries to decide on that. So I'm going to hope and really believe that they committed to investing in the research needed to turn this ship around.
Okay.
Ship around.
This is a question for Anna then. Do you also hope and agree? Do you agree with that? Or you think it's another one? Yes, thumbs up.
I do. And let's work on getting them to commit to those other things too.
Why not? Yes, you're both correct. 20 countries committed to doubling clean energy research and development. That includes the top 5 most populous nations in the world: China, India, the US, Indonesia, and Brazil. This commitment is known as Mission Innovation.
All right.
Joshua, it's your turn. Where would you like to go?
I am going to go with Nicole.
Nicole in the top right.
Oh, this is
All
right.
Aha, this is a good one for you. When did the city of Bellingham get seriously active in climate planning? Multiple choice. Was it 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, or when Dirty Dan Harris legally changed his name to Clean Dan Harris, the lovable cad who drives a Prius?
Okay. So it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago,
or 15.
15.
We're in dirty.
Or dirty.
Clean. Yeah, became clean.
Yeah, I know it's not Dirty Dan Harris because Priuses weren't around before he died.
Ooh, you crafty.
Let's see.
Crafty detective.
The first climate action plan, I'm going to say it was 15 years ago, I believe. That's when we started.
Nicole says 15 years. Joshua, what do you think? Is she right?
That was going to be my answer. I was trying to think of when made the commitment to going renewable and thinking it would be around that time frame for getting our power from clean energy. Didn't think it was 10 years ago. I knew it wasn't 5 years ago. So I'm going to go with 15.
Yeah, you both are so smart. That's exactly right. In 2005, City Council committed to the Cities for Climate Protection campaign and its 5 milestones, all of which Bellingham has completed. Then in 2007, just for some more history on this, the city drafted its Climate Protection Action Plan. That was a little less than 15 years ago, and then which included emissions reduction targets for 2012 and 2020. And that plan was updated in 2018. Just 15 years ago was the first commitment to the Cities for Climate Protection campaign. You get the square with an X. Nicole, you were right. Joshua was right that you were right. Anna, it's time for you to be right about something. Where do you want to go?
I'm definitely going in for the block. So let's bring in Dean.
Dean for the block.
Dean, which sector is the largest source of greenhouse gas emissions in Bellingham, accounting for nearly 1/3 of all community emissions? Is it the breakfast sector, the education sector, the commercial sector, or the transportation sector?
I've heard that.
Cows. The cows poop a lot. And they give off a lot of stuff.
Oh, the cows?
Agriculture. I can pooping because of all the methane and stuff.
Breakfast food.
That wasn't even considered.
You know?
Nobody said poop.
Right.
Cow poop. No cow
Yeah.
poop.
That's why I'm thinking breakfast. But
bacon.
Well, can I get on a mailing list for this breakfast sector if that's a thing?
I mean, if there is one, I would love to be on that.
Of the situation, pretty please.
In my experience, it's sort of like walk for 10 minutes in any direction and you will find a great place to have breakfast in Bellingham.
Oh, gotcha.
Well, define great by regular standards or by Pacific Northwest standards.
Oh God, we don't even want to go there. We don't even have that. See, that's a whole other show. That's a whole other show. We don't have the energy for that.
Save it for breakfast wars, Christina.
Right? That's awesome.
Given that there's people like me in our community that love their cars and have too many, I'm going to go with transportation. How about that?
All right, throwing himself under the bus, pun intended. He says the transportation sector.
I saw that coming like a bus, and I still thought it was hilarious, Mike. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. This is up to you, Anna. Do you agree transportation sector is the largest source of greenhouse gas emissions here in breakfasty Bellingham?
Well, I know that a lot of our electricity that would be fueling a lot of the buildings in the commercial district does come from quite a few renewables. So I guess I'll take a leap of faith and say that Dean is right.
And you land on your feet, my friend. Transportation is correct.
Nice.
Shifting your transportation mode from solo trips in gas-powered vehicles like Dean takes all the time to more efficient modes such as biking, walking, taking the bus, carpooling, or driving an electric vehicle. It's one of the top actions that you can personally take, that all of us can personally take to reduce greenhouse gases locally. So Anna blocked in the bottom left square. Joshua, you got to try again. How do you win this board, buddy?
I'm not going to win the board here, but I'm going to keep Anna from winning and go with Grace for the block.
That's a lot of pressure.
Go, Grace. It's your birthday. Go, Grace.
Right. Grace.
Okay.
Which renewable energy source is the most popular one in Bellingham? Is it solar, wind, water, or patchouli?
There is a lot of patchouli. I don't know though. I'm gonna go with solar.
She says solar, and this was you, Joshua?
It is.
All right. Do you agree with that?
Can I ask a clarifying question? When we're talking about people from Bellingham getting their power, are we talking about individual homes or are we talking about Bellingham? Because I would imagine that if we're talking about Bellingham, then through Puget Sound's green energy, it would be wind.
Mm-hmm.
About individual homeowners, solar.
Not to give anything away, but based on what you just said, it's homeowners.
Solar. I agree.
Yeah.
Right. Solar.
So what's your answer?
Grace said solar, correct? I am going to agree with Grace.
You're right. The answer is solar power. In April 2016, Bellingham was recognized by the Governor Inslee, as a Northwest solar community for making it easier and cheaper for homeowners to install rooftop solar.
Hey, Josh.
All right, so that is a block. Yippity skippity. Anna.
Okay, let's do another block, hopefully. Mayor Fleetwood.
That's a smart move.
Thank you.
Suppose he knows this one, but we'll see. It's kind of tough. It's multiple choice. Mayor Fleetwood, which program from Puget Sound Energy allows Bellingham residents to support renewable energy for a small monthly fee, even if they don't have a big sunny roof to install solar panels on? What's the name of this program? Is it the Green Power Program, the Green Energy Fund, the Gangrene Awareness Society, or Foundation for a Green Future?
I'm going to go with the Green Power Program.
The Green Power Program. All right. Does that sound right to you, Anna?
That sounds good to me.
And it sounds good to the residents of Bellingham. That's indeed what it's called. Puget Sound Energy's Green Power Program allows homes or businesses to offset their energy use with renewable options for just a few extra dollars on their monthly electricity bill. Bellingham also, as you may know, has local solar installation companies that can help individuals get solar panels on their residential and commercial properties. And switching to renewable energy like that is one of the top actions we can do to personally turn back the tide on climate change. Joshua, you have control of the board.
I'm going to go with Christina.
All right.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Good luck with that.
For the X.
Okay.
We talked about renewable energy sources in Bellingham. Now, what about the United States? Which renewable energy source contributes the most energy to the United States?
I would assume wind.
You're assuming wind. Joshua,
Are you going to give me multiple choice?
No.
I don't know. How amazing does that Hoover Dam work? But I feel like it's wind. I'm going to stay there.
Okay, going with their first impulse. Joshua, what's your impulse?
I'm going with wind.
Going with wind, and so is the U.S. You're right.
Woo! Woo! Hey, thank you for having faith in me, Joshua.
You said it with such conviction.
Yeah, she didn't even wait. She didn't know if it was multiple choice, but she said, I'm feeling wind. She was right. In fact, my little cue card here says that in 2019, electricity from wind surpassed hydroelectricity for the first time to become the most used. So if we had played this a year ago.
Yeah, 1 and 2. I'm a genius, for the record.
For the record.
She'll let you know. Don't worry.
So that's an X in so you got 2 in a row, Joshua. Anna, you see where this is going?
I do. Not looking good. I'll bring in Rose.
All right. Rose?
Okay, ready.
Go, Rose,
Multiple
go.
choice. Which of these animal products has the lowest carbon footprint per serving? Beef, chicken, cheese, or tuna?
Okay, so I'm supposed that like all tuna's wild, right? Like they have to go out into the sea and get it out of the sea, I think. So I think it's tuna. I think I'm gonna go tuna. It's swims
Chicken
around
of the
out
sea.
there. We don't have to deal with waste, all that kind of stuff.
All right. They deal with their own waste. That's one of the things I like about tuna. Anna, what do you think? Out of beef, chicken, cheese, or tuna? She says tuna, it has the lowest carbon footprint per serving. What do you think?
I agree.
You agree. And you're right. You block the carbon footprint. If you don't know of a food item, it measures how much carbon dioxide is produced in the process of producing 1 kilogram of that food item. Tuna produces 6 kilograms of CO2 for every kilogram of food. Chicken is more with 7. Cheese is even more at 13.5, and beef is way up there at 27.
I'm actually surprised. I'm surprised with the tuna because of the fishing and the fisheries that happen and the amount of oil and gasoline it takes to keep that production going. So, and even doing it on the boat and processing and everything, that surprises me. Very cool.
Well, I mean, we're counting the oil rig explosions, but they're not.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah, right? We factor it into what they've spent on it, but they don't.
There you go.
Nobody said that the fossil fuels weren't in the tuna, you know.
Right. No. They're at the bottom of the Gulf of Mexico with the dispersant that's still layers deep from when the Gulf explosion that did a few years back. So all those fishes that come up with 4 eyes, don't worry, they're still delicious.
And the fire is going to kill us before the radiation from those fish will. So we're fine.
Oh, that's okay.
You don't have to add oil when you can.
I'll have a great tan.
And Kevin, they'll give us superpowers.
Yes, like heroes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And villains.
Oh, there's got to be villains with heroes. Absolutely. There's got to be an equal distribution of love and hate.
They're all doing a great job of finding silver linings. This is the make or break. Joshua, it's your turn. There's 1 square left if I've done my scoreboard right. And if you get it, you win. If you don't, Anna does.
Ooh, no pressure though.
Ooh, no pressure.
Oh.
So do you know where we're going?
I'll go with Imran.
Going with Imran, that's right. Professor Sheikh, which animals other than humans have the biggest carbon footprint?
Ooh. When we're talking about carbon emissions, we're not talking about fossil carbon emissions, though, right?
I don't know what we're talking about.
What about methane? Methane, like, was it carbon emissions or is it greenhouse gas emissions?
Yeah.
It was carbon footprint. Carbon emitted from our feet. How many times do I have to explain this? Which animals shoot the most carbon from their feet? Carbon footprint, which goes back to, I suppose, the, I don't know what it means.
I just had an image of a deer shooting energy. Oh my gosh.
Come on, Imran.
So are these wild animals?
Domesticated cats.
Or could domestic animals count?
Domesticated cats, specifically Himalayans.
No, all of Earth's creatures are eligible for this title. Those that roam free and those under the yoke of human society.
Well, I think it's a pretty complex question, and there's probably could be argued many different ways, but I'm going to go with cows.
You've faced down the inadequacies of the game and boldly delivered an answer when you had to, because this is the last question of the game. Thank you for stepping up. Joshua, agree or disagree with cows?
My initial reaction is to agree. But what about all the ants?
That was another way I was kind of going. Is like, what if something in the insect?
Wait, what? Ants?
Wait,
Yeah.
what's
Oh my gosh. Okay, so whoa. Let's not even go in the ant world, because ant world could totally take us out if they were smart enough. Just saying.
I need to know why this is a considered answer, though, from two of the smartest people in this square.
Answer animals.
Do they emit a lot of carbon?
To show my idiocracy, what carbon emissions are they putting? Are they out there with like little?
They drive tiny cars.
Yeah.
Do they have feet to emit a footprint?
They have six.
They have
Yeah.
6.
So more than cows.
You guys are great. Thanks.
What if ants were cow sized?
I'm going to go with cows.
All right. It's clear that nothing is clear, but you are in the right. At least is what I have written. You're right. We're calling it livestock, such as cows and sheep emit methane gas when they burp and pass gas, as a result of how
heard a
their
lot of that.
cells break down grasses and other foods. Worldwide, livestock accounts for between 14.5 to 18% of human-induced greenhouse gas emissions. So for every 14 to 18 livestock farts that are ruining the world, there are 82 to 86 other acts of pollution committed by or on behalf of people like us. X takes the square. And that's 5 X's on the board.
Wow.
How does this happen?
Jockeyed and parried each other effectively. And in the end, Imran answered an impossible question and Joshua went with his gut and agreed. He went with his ruminant gut, like the great cows of this earth. And that's a win. And this one was worth all the marbles. I'm sorry, Anna. I made that whimsical decision with my radical power, my unchecked power. So round 1 and 2 just don't.
To edit this out, but ain't that the way when a woman puts in the work? Men make up the woman's
Oh, snap. Okay. Oh.
Christina, we should hang out.
We all should hang out. We're all going to Dean's house because I know what to do.
Come on over.
And
Yeah, he knows
Plenty of greenhouse gases.
Yeah, he has a forest where he knows where the permafrost is at.
Tattoos aside, I want to hear like 1 or 2 things that people are that maybe learn that you didn't know. I know you're all very educated about the climate already, but is there anything that sticks in your gourd about the situation we're in or the power we have to change things?
Just the fact that we have opportunities to make a difference. And if we can make a difference and we can actually stand up and we can look at each other on how we can best support each other in making these climate changes to better our environment, better our future, then I think we all have opportunities at every point that we look at and even holding each other accountable and responsible for things. So I think just being aware of what's happening in the world, but how can we locally fix things or be aware of things to how we can fix things and having a mindset of we can do this and this is a timeline in which we should do that.
Good job, Kevin. Woo!
Miss America, everybody.
Center square, everyone. Center square.
Perfect. Well, we can't thank you enough for joining us. You contestants, our celebrities, and everybody watching. This was a very successful Climate Squares, if I do say so myself. We hope you had a good time. You can learn more about the things that Kevin just said so eloquently and things that City of Bellingham specifically is doing for climate action by visiting www.cob.org/allin.
All in.
Thank you all and good night.
We need everyone in the Bellingham community to help achieve our local climate action goals. The top 4 actions you can personally take to have the biggest impact on reducing Bellingham's emissions are shifting your transportation mode, using less energy inside, switching to renewable energy, and making your voice heard. Find out more about these actions at cob.org/allin.